All right, listen. This is one of those fights that just grabs you, man. The kind of matchup that makes you lean forward before the first punch is even thrown. You can feel it, that tension, that buzz in the air, because you know something violent, something beautiful is about to happen. Vicente Luque and Joel Alvarez. Two completely different animals walking into the same cage, each believing their way is the truth. One's a pressure machine, a guy who turns pain into momentum. The other's a calculated assassin, long, calm, and cold-blooded with every move. And that's what makes this so damn fascinating. It's not just a fight, it's a philosophy clash. You've got chaos versus control, fire versus finesse, grit versus grace. And when those worlds collide, man, that's when magic happens. It's that moment where the noise fades, the crowd disappears, and you're left with two warriors figuring each other out in real time. Pure human chess with real consequences. This isn't just another Ma. Chup, this is the kind of fight that tells you something about what makes people tick, what makes them push through hell to prove a point. So buckle in, because this one's going to dig deep into the heart, the mind, and the fight itself. Man, when you talk about Vicente Luque's pressure and durability, you're talking about something primal, something that doesn't come from training camps or fight IQ. It comes from that deep place inside a fighter's soul where pain just doesn't mean the same thing anymore. This dude walks forward like he's bulletproof, like every punch you throw at him is just a warm-up for what's coming next. You see some fighters who hesitate after getting cracked, not Luke. He gets hit, he resets, and you can almost see it in his eyes, like, all right, now we're really fighting. That's the switch. The pressure he puts on guys isn't just physical, it's psychological warfare. Every step he takes forward steals a little bit of your confidence. You can circle, you can jab. You can try to create distance, but he keeps coming calmly, methodically, like he's got nowhere else to be but right in front of you. And the craziest part is how composed he stays in the chaos. He's not swinging wild or reckless. He's landing clean, efficient shots, elbows slicing through guard, knees up the middle, and all the while he's absorbing your best stuff like it's nothing. His durability, it's not just about having a chin. It's about that ability to stay dangerous even when he's hurt, to keep his rhythm when most guys would be fading. You can't teach that. That's fight-born toughness, years of wars, scars that tell stories. When Luke fights, it's not just violence. It's pressure artistry. He doesn't need to chase the knockout because he creates it with suffocating consistency. He forces you into bad positions. He makes you panic, and then boom, that perfectly timed shot lands while you're backing up, breathing heavy, second-guessing everything. It's like he enjoys dragging into deep water just to see if you can swim. And the wild thing is, it's not reckless pressure, it's intelligent aggression. He calculates, reads, adapts, and keeps that tempo until you mentally break. There's a certain aura around him, like the fight doesn't start until he's taken your best punch and smiled through it. And once that happens, you can almost feel the tide shift, that slow, inevitable pull toward destruction. Because Luque is not just coming for a win, he's coming to test what kind of fighter you really are, to see how much fire you've actually got left when the walls start closing in. And then you look at Joel Alvarez, man, and this dude is just built different. Long, rangy, awkward in the best possible way. He's got that frame that looks like it was engineered for leverage and control, like every limb is a weapon waiting to trap you. When you see him fight, the first thing that jumps out is that length. He uses it like a sniper uses a rifle. Those straight punches come from way outside the danger zone, and before you even think about countering, he's already out of range again. But what makes him scary isn't just that reach. It's how seamlessly he transitions that into his grappling game. This dude's jiu-jitsu is slick, man, like butter on glass. He doesn't need to muscle anything, he flows. You think you're safe in his guard? You're wrong. You think you can pressure him on the ground? You're in his world now. He's one of those rare fighters who can pull you into a submission from angles that don't even look real. He'll throw up a triangle or snatch an arm while you're still trying to figure out how you ended up on the mat in the first place. And that's where that length becomes a nightmare. Because when he wraps those long legs or arms around you, it's like getting caught in a spider web. Every move you make tightens the trap. There's a fluid violence to the way he grapples, man, like he's painting a picture while breaking you down piece by piece. And he doesn't need to be on top to be dangerous. He can attack from anywhere, off his back, off scrambles, off transitions. His whole style feels deceptive because he looks calm, smooth, almost effortless, and then out of nowhere, he's cutting through guards or snatching necks. That composure, it's what separates him. He's not brawling, he's hunting. He doesn't chase submissions, he builds them. Everything he does, from the jab that sets up the level change to the hip movement that opens up the angle, feels like part of a trap he's been setting 3 steps ahead. And if you combine that technical precision with that natural length and leverage, what you get is a guy who doesn't just beat you, he makes you feel like you never had a chance to breathe, never had a moment to get comfortable, because the second you exhale, he's already locked something in, and by the time you realize it, it's already too late. This is where it gets fascinating, man, because stylistically, this is one of those CLA, SSC MMA collisions. Pressure versus precision, chaos versus calculation, the unstoppable force meeting the immovable sniper. You've got Vicente Luque, this guy who wants to close the distance, make it dirty, take away all that comfort and space, and on the other side, you've got Joel Alvarez, this sharpshooter who thrives in control, who builds his whole rhythm around that perfect timing and spacing. It's like 2 opposing energies trying to occupy the same moment. Luque's entire game is built on taking your rhythm away, suffocating you, making you doubt your reactions, while Alvarez's game is about never giving you the chance to start that storm. Every second matters here. One guy wants to make it feel like a bar fight in a phone booth, the other wants to make it feel like a chess match played with a scalpel, and that's what makes this fight so wild to think about, because it's not just about who's tougher or who hits harder. It's about who can make the other man fight their kind of fight. If Luque can drag Alvarez into the trenches, land those short, violent shots in the pocket, elbows, hooks, those grinding moments against the fence, then Alvarez's precision starts to break down, because timing doesn't mean much when you're constantly under fire. But if Alvarez can stay calm, use that length, pick his shots, make Luque hesitate for just a second, that hesitation becomes deadly. Because every time Luque tries to close distance, he's walking into clean, accurate strikes that can chip away at him before he even gets inside. It's such a thin line between dominance and disaster in a matchup like this. You can almost imagine the rhythm of the fight shifting back and forth. Luque closing in, Alvarez creating space, both trying to bend the other man's will. It's like watching art and violence collide in real time. Both guys trying to prove that their version of fighting is the superior form of truth. And the beauty of MMA is that you never really know which one wins out until it happens. Sometimes precision dismantles pressure with surgical accuracy, and sometimes pressure breaks precision with pure chaos and grit. And that's exactly the kind of tension that makes this fight feel like it could explode at any second. You know what really separates guys at this level, man? It's not just toughness or athleticism. It's that deep, instinctive awareness that only comes from experience, from being in those real, chaotic moments where everything is on the line and you've got to make split-second decisions that determine whether you win or get slept. Vicente Luque has been through those wars. He's fought killers, top-tier contenders, different styles, guys who can strike, guys who can wrestle, guys who can grind you out. And through all that, he's built this crazy calm under pressure. That's fight IQ. It's not just knowing what to do, it's knowing when to do it, knowing when to explode, when to pull back, how to read body language in real time, how to discu. Eyes your own intentions. Luque's got that veteran timing, that ability to read the fight as it's unfolding like he's downloading data mid-combat. You can't fake that. Every exchange, every adjustment, it's all layered with the kind of awareness that only comes from surviving deep rounds with elite talent. And then on the flip side, you've got Joel Alvarez, who's still evolving, still sharpening his instincts, but you can see that raw intelligence in his style too. He's not just throwing to throw, he's calculating, setting traps, forcing reactions. That's the early signs of a fighter who's thinking several steps ahead. But experience, that's a whole different beast. Luque's been cut open, rocked, dragged into hell, and he's come back making reads on the fly. He doesn't panic. You can't fake composure like that. You see guys who look good on paper until someone like Luque pressures them and suddenly their technique unravels. Alvarez has the talent, but the question is, can he keep his company? Posure when things don't go according to plan? Because fight IQ isn't just about offense, it's about adaptability, being able to shift gears when your plan A stops working. Luque's proven that he can do that. He's shown it over and over again against elite opponents. Alvarez still has to prove that his mind can keep up when his body's under fire. That's where this fight gets interesting. Experience versus potential. That seasoned, read-the-room mentality versus that young, hungry, creative energy. And in a game measured in milliseconds, the guy who makes the right choice in that one tiny moment usually walks out with his hand raised. And then, man, you can't ignore the biggest question mark in this whole thing. The X factor, that unpredictable element that could flip the entire fight on its head. The weight jump and how Joel Alvarez adapts to it. Moving up a division isn't just about packing on a few extra pounds. It changes everything. Your timing, your speed, your endurance, the way your body absorbs shots, even how your mind processes exchanges when you're facing bigger, more powerful dudes. Lightweight Alvarez was dangerous because he had that massive frame for 155, and he could bully guys with his reach and leverage, but at welterweight, that physical advantage starts to level out. Now he's standing across from monsters like Luque, guys who are naturally thick, battle-tested, used to absorbing and delivering power at a completely different intensity. That's where adaptation becomes the real test. Can Alvarez carry his precision, his flow, his submission threat up to a weight class where one mistake can end your night? Some fighters move up and look better, faster, freer, no more brutal weight cuts draining them, but others lose that edge because the shots don't have the same snap and their opponents don't crumble the way they used to. The cardio shifts too. The pace feels heavier, more suffocating, and that's where Luque's experience as a true welterweight becomes so valuable. He knows how to fight at that weight, how to manage his gas tank, how to push that pace over 3 rounds without fading. Alvarez, meanwhile, is stepping into the unknown. The weight might make him stronger, more durable, maybe even more confident, but it could also slow down his reflexes just enough for Luque to close that distance and turn it into a war he's not used to fighting. That's the kind of X factor that makes this fight so intriguing because we're not just asking who's better technically, we're asking who adapts faster to a completely new environment. And sometimes, man, that's the story of a fight. How one guy handles the new rhythm, the new power, the new pace. We've seen legends crumble with a bad weight change and others rise like a different animal altogether. That's what makes this matchup feel unpredictable because Alvarez might walk in reborn at welterweight, or he might realize mid-fight that he's stepped into a world where everything hits just a little bit harder and moves just a little bit faster. Man, when you really look at this fight as a whole, it's one of those matchups that reminds you why MMA is such a beautiful kind of chaos. You've got Vicente Luque, that relentless warrior who's built from pure grit and heart, a guy who's seen every kind of storm and still moves forward like it's just another day in the office, facing Joel Alvarez, this calm, dangerous technician who fights like a scientist with bad intentions. It's pressure versus precision, chaos versus control, experience versus adaptation, all clashing under the bright lights where every little detail matters. You can almost feel the tension before it even happens. The crowd waiting for that first exchange. The moment we find out if Alvarez's composure can survive Luque's fire, or if Luque's pressure can hold up against Alvarez's range and timing. That's what makes this fight special, man. It's not just about who's tougher or who can hit harder. It's about the art of figuring each other out in real time, about testing limits and seeing who breaks first. Both these guys are walking into that cage with something to prove. Luque wants to remind everyone he's still a problem, still a savage in that division, while Alvarez wants to show the world that his skills translate no matter the weight class, no matter the opponent. And as a fan, you just got to sit back and appreciate that. 2 men stepping into a cage to find out whose truth holds up under fire. That's the essence of this sport, that raw, unfiltered honesty that only happens when the cage door locks. So yeah, Good luck to both these warriors. May they give us something unforgettable, something that makes us jump out of our seats and remember why we fell in love with this game in the first place. And to everyone tuning in, man, thank you for being part of this wild ride, for loving the sport, for supporting the fighters, for keeping that energy alive, because every time two guys like this step in there and lay it all on the line, it's not just a fight. It's a reminder that the human spirit, when pushed to the edge, is the most fascinating thing to watch on earth.